Okay guys, so today we're going to be doing a service on the Integra Type R. So it's on 234,000 kilometers right now, which is about 146,000 miles I think, so super high mileage. And the only reason it's been kept going is due to the high level of servicing and maintenance on the car. So it's due another service, so what we're going to do is service it. So I've got some genuine Honda 10W30 engine oil, a genuine Honda sump plug washer, and a genuine Honda oil filter. So all genuine parts to keep it going. Along with that, we're also going to be doing a K&N filter recharge and one other little thing to the car to keep it going. In another video, we're going to be doing a power steering flush because my power steering fluid, you won't be able to see now, but the power steering fluid's low. So my tools from the UK still aren't here. So I've bought some of my tools from work to get this done. I'm going to have to use the Widowmaker jacks, my trolley jacks aren't here. So yeah, but let's just get into it, no more messing about. Alright guys, so if you look just over there, sort of around there, there is the oil sump plug. I can't really get the camera under here anymore, but I'm just going to move this drain pan further up. We'll crack that with a 17mm socket and just drain some of the oil out of it. Well, not some, all of it. Alright guys, so this is the sump plug nut on Honda. It's actually kind of cool. They actually label it engine oil with an arrow right there. So got my 17mm, literally just going to crack that, drain it all into there. So it's quite hard to film, but that's the plan. So the sump plug washer is now out, not without half an hour of complete struggle. It was a nightmare. It was on so tight, and I do this daily at work, but that one was on way too tight, so I ended up having to get like a proper pry bar on it to get it off and stuff, but it's now out. So I've just had a look at the sump washers. This is the one that came off the car, so it's, you know, quite big and thin. I think that's been on there for more than one oil change, judging how thin it is. But this is a 14mm genuine Honda sump plug washer. So you can tell by looking at the side of it, it's a crushed washer. So once this has been crushed once to seal, you can't reuse it. It does fit over the thing, over the drain plug. So I'm hoping the guy has sold me the right one. And everywhere you look online, it's saying this is the right one to use. That looks like it will seal, so just going to wait for the rest of the oil to drain. Unfortunately, I missed filming a lot of it because my camera actually died and my hands were too oily to sort it out. But there it is. So, didn't actually make much of a mess. So let's carry on. I just got to put that in and then get the oil filter off. Normally the oil filter removal is quite hard as well, but as I was struggling with the sump plug, I sort of gave it a try and it was actually nice and easy, so that should go pretty easy. So yeah, so put that in, oil filter in, just fill it up with oil, nice and easy. Okay, so the new oil filter is now in. Let me show you if I can. Just up there, the blue filter you can just about see sticking out there. And I've also cleaned the sump now, and just because what we like to do at work is clean any sort of oil stain or residue afterwards, so now that we fire it up and check for leaks, we'll be able to tell if it's leaking or not. So now all that's left to do really is fill it up with oil, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm not going to film it because everyone's seen oil go into a car, and this is taking a lot longer than expected, so I need to go ahead and do that. Okay, so now that the oil service is all done, there's one more thing I want to address, and that's this K&N sort of cone pod filter that's in there. So a lot of people don't bother cleaning them because they just forget, they don't treat it like a normal air filter. But what happens when you don't clean them is they end up like this. They end up just completely full of gunk and all just messed up, and this is actually harming performance. This is worse than just sort of the standard air filter which would have been in your car to start with. So I'm going to go ahead and clean mine now. It doesn't actually need cleaning really because it's only been in there I think 4 months. I don't think you're supposed to do this. I think you're only supposed to do this sort of like every 10,000 Ks, something like that. The reason I'm doing mine is because there's a big like oily streak down one side of it. and it's down this side where this is this hose is for the PCV system, so it reroutes oil vapor from the crankcase back into your intake system, and this is just because it's better for the environment to sort of reroute it and burn it back through the intake manifold. But what happens is it just makes this whole, the air filter, all these pipes, the intake manifold, it makes all that system oily, which I don't want that because it's bad for performance and just messy. So what I've gone ahead and done is grabbed this K&N sort of crankcase vent filter. So for anyone interested in the numbers, they're there. I got this from super cheap order. It wasn't available in New Zealand, so it had to come from Australia, so I had to wait quite a while for it. And K-Tuned actually make their own one, but it was like, I don't know, I think that was 40 New Zealand dollars, and the K-Tune one was double. So I just got that one, and the dimensions of that should fit in there. I'm not sure, but let's go ahead and find out. So first things first, got to undo these bolts, this clamp. Oh, actually, I don't even think I need to undo that and take this off, so it shouldn't be too hard. So let's go ahead and do that now. So once you've gone ahead and undone all the fasteners all around there, and just use some pliers to disconnect this PCV hose as well, you can go ahead and just pull this box up, this intake box, and you guys can see there what I was on about. So that's not a panel filter, it's actually a K&N drop-in filter. So I'll go ahead and just pull this out. So this isn't, like I said, a panel filter, it's actually like a cone filter from factory, which is really cool. And let me see if I can show you that oily streak that I saw. There you go. So that patch right there was sat there, so right where this PCV is coming in. So as the engine's running, a load of oil vapor is going through the crankcase back into the air intake system, and it's dirtied up all the air filter. So it means that the engine's sucking in oil vapor, which is not good, and just makes this dirty, which I don't like. So I'm going to go ahead and clean this, and then this shouldn't happen in the future because I'm going to vent that back to atmosphere. So actually, let's put that on now, and then we'll go ahead and do this, because this is going to take a lot longer than you'd expect. So now that I've used some pliers to just disconnect that hose clamp, pull the hose out, all I've got to do is take my filter and simply slide it over the end and do up this hose clamp. So the filter I've bought, the dimensions are probably a little bit big because we're touching on this bottom of the hose, but if I just mount it sort of there, or there, either way, it's going to be good. So this valve cover is getting painted soon anyway, so this will all look nice and clean eventually. But now you can sort of see the idea. So the fumes will just go straight through here and into atmosphere, so it'll keep the whole intake system clean. I'm not too sure if it's going to make a mess under the bonnet. It shouldn't do, because I have run these before on previous vehicles. But yeah, so now all that's going to happen is this filter is going to get really dirty, but I've got this K&N filter recharge kit, so that shouldn't be too much of a problem. So we'll just do up that hose clamp, and then we can get started on this sort of situation here. So here's what you get in the K&N recharge kit. So you have a cleaner, which you spray on first. So you spray loads of this stuff on first, all down all the ribs and everything. Then what they say to do is to rinse it from the inside out using low pressure water. So just like water out of a tap, just rinsing it from the inside out to flush out all the dirt. Then you need to let it dry. So they recommend letting it dry for at least 24 hours, if not longer. And luckily, this isn't my daily, so it's easy for me to do that. So I'll just probably leave this for a few days to dry out. And then you go ahead and do the oiling. So the oiling's a bit more complex. They say to just sort of spray it evenly along the ribs from 3 inches away. I read online they actually have a calculator to sort of calculate how much oil you need to put on, because apparently it's quite sort of not scientific but precise, and if you oil it too much you're doing more damage than good. So the first few steps are easy, so we'll go ahead and do those now. Okay, so this is what the filter's looking like now it's being cleaned, which is crazy because everyone, you know, associates K&N filters with being this like red color, but that's just from the oil. So when you clean them off, this is what they actually look like. So just a plain filter. So you can still see the dirt patch here a little bit. It is a lot better, but I've cleaned it out twice now and I put a load of cleaner on that area, so I think that's just about as good as it's going to get. I think this clean is more aimed towards dirt rather than oil sort of stains, but I'm still happy I did it. It's still going to be better than nothing, and the fact that I've done that crankcase vent now, it shouldn't happen again. So I think this is still, I mean, that's still completely acceptable. I've cleaned it really good now, so just time to leave it to dry for 24 hours. If not more, and then we'll come back and oil it later.
24 hours later.
Alright, so this is what the filter's looking like now after drying for 24 hours. So you can see the oil stain is still kind of there faintly, but it's a lot better than it was. And the filter's lost all of its sort of reddy K&N colour. So now it's time to just oil it with this spray. You just spray it sort of 3 inches away. So let's go ahead and do that now. Alright guys, so this is what the filter looks like now after just one spray coating. I'm not going to do another coating because I don't want to over oil them, because I know that's quite bad for them. So I'm not sure if this is really enough, but it does have an even red coating all around. It looks a little dull to me. I remember it being a bit brighter of a red, but I don't want to overdo it. So all I've got to do is put this back in the car and then we should be done. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Intake manifold. A lot of guys get like Skunk 2 ones, or I think it's called an RPC manifold, which looks a lot nicer, but I'm stuck with this one for the time being. So I thought I'd just try a bit of metal polish on it and see how it cleans up. And I just did a test patch right here and it's cleaned up mega good. And I think it'll make this engine bay look way different if I go ahead and polish the whole thing. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm just going to put the camera down, do a quick time lapse, polish it up, and we'll see what it looks like. Wow, this is definitely worth the bit of algo grease. I've only probably been going on it for like 20 minutes and it looks amazing. So I'll show you guys what it's looking like so far. I obviously removed the cover just so I could make sure I got far enough back so that it all looked good, and I didn't want to damage the cover. I don't know if it's picking it up on camera, I hope it is, but this looks so much shinier and it basically looks new. Some things I'd note is definitely wear gloves because this stuff stains your hands. And also more steel wool. I only had one little bit and it pretty much got fucked up instantly. So I had to make do. I think you could do a lot better job if you had more steel wool. But I'm just going to go ahead and put everything back on now and see what it looks like when it's all back together. Alright, so this is what it's looking like now. I don't know if you can tell on camera. I've taken some photos and just looked at them and it doesn't look that much of a difference on camera. But in person, it's way better. I think it looks really cool. And I think once the rocker cover's painted and then a few other little bits are cleaned, I think that'll make the whole thing just look so much better. I have a lot of plans for the rest of the engine bay. I want to get intake pipe, paint that, some socks for like sock covers, Honda guy thing for those. And just other bits and bobs, but I think that's just made a big difference for now. And it was free because I already had the stuff, so yeah. Alright, so that's new air filter, crankcase delete, new engine oil filter, all done now, full service. Should be good for another 10,000 Ks, the engine oil anyway. Those air filters apparently don't need cleaning until 80,000 Ks. I'll probably just do mine once a year, because why not? Hopefully I've oiled it enough, but I'm going to go ahead and start it now and make sure everything's okay. Alright guys, so that's it for today's video. I ran this thing up for 15 minutes, no leaks, which is all good. I didn't really expect it to leak anyway, because I've done so many services now, but you never know. I'm just going to quickly check the level of the oil again. I did pull that K&N filter out now that I've ran it for a bit and check it. It does look a little under oiled to me. That's my gut feeling, but I'm going to look online and check with some people, and I can re-oil it tomorrow night because the car's not actually driving anywhere, so it won't get dirty. So hopefully this video actually turns out alright. I'm going to post it regardless of whether or not I think it's good or not, just to get some content out there, to be honest. But I've filmed this video over the course of like 3 days, well actually over the course of a week at least, just doing a little bit each night after work, which is why it might seem a little bit jumbled up, but who knows, if it's no good then I won't keep doing videos after work, but we'll see. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the next one.